Because kitambo there used to be some restaurant in Tao, you guy hapo. I don't remember that street, but you guy was wa Kongole walikuwa wamejaa hapo ndani manze. Guy walikuwa na teka wadada wetu hapo mbaya sana. Cheki nataka tu nimalize bendi alafu niende kwangu pale Hoisambu.
I know some of these people when you wanapiga hizi band, they are not actually Congolese, you guys.
No, but I don't know Congolese. Why are you saying that?
No, because I think I've seen a skit by Eric Omondi. Like they are Congolese until stima izimike then wanaanza kuongea Kikuyu.
Check it out, menya stima imepotea. What is happening? Kenya Power rating us down, Ray.
Anyway, job ni job. Me, I'm not judging, man. Get the bag. Get the bag, man.
Man, that's what's up, man. Shout out to everyone who's listening. Shout out to some special people, Bashir, who I really love.
Yep.
Our digital taxi people, who, as they're driving their cars and working very, very hard, very many hours, they decide to actually wind down with us on the wind down.
Let me tell you, because I actually use a lot of cabs nowadays. Nikiingia hivi, the first thing, first of all, eka 88.8.
Manze.
Before anzisha hii trip, maze, tafadhali. Kwa heshima na kwa hisani.
That is the station.
Naomba na nidhani sana.
That I want to listen to.
And then sometimes I just enter and find them listening to 88.8. It's nice.
Yes. And shout out to you. Thank you so much. Please continue spreading the word. Sisi ni wenyu na nyinyi ni wetu.
Kabisa.
So we're tied to the hip. It is 13 minutes past 8 o'clock and it's about that time we get into our open mic hour. During this hour, if it's your first time, we just sit down around our proverbial wind down fire and we just trade stories. We always say that we are just two people who happen to have a mic. We're not professionals, but we are two brothers sitting down here with you and just sharing life experiences. And, many times we laugh, sometimes we cry, but in the end, we come out with something.
Yeah, I think I couldn't have put it any better. And as you said, we are not experts. I mean, we are just passengers in this particular thing called life. And we don't live in a vacuum. That's why most of these things that we say here are very relatable, I feel, because, we still live within this community. We still live with you guys. We interact with the same things you guys interact day to day. And the purpose of this particular hour is not that the music is amazing, first of all, shout out to Chess and Tusi, but it's just to take an opportunity to have a very, not serious, but just a candid talk about some issues. Most times we have a guest. Some nights like this when we are matching wearing velvet attire, it's just me and you here in studio trying to chop it up. And today, aptly, I think you're the one who suggested this particular topic. We are talking about, just turning setbacks into comebacks, just recovering from some of the downs of life. Just being able to go through tough times and showing up on the other side with a smile.
My setback ilikuwa my comeback. Mungu wangu amenikumbuka.
Uniwe mse wa appointment.
Mungu wangu amenikumbuka.
They really bullied him out of social media.
Where are you, brother? I miss you, man.
Kenya walimfanya mbaya. You tell you in Kenya, if you don't have thick skin, you guys. Even our former president wenyewe said enyewe, you guys, nyinyi mkae na hiyo Twitter yenyu, mimi sitaki.
I'm out of here.
Yes, because Kenyans enyewe.
But let's look for that brother and bring him here to the wind down.
Yeah, I'd really like to at some point I think he was carrying Kenyan gospel.
No, that guy is a legend.
He is, but at some time.
Yeah.
Like when is the last time Altongo?
No, but he's still a legend.
Sijakataa. Unasema tu
no, sasa ameingia biashara zingine kwa sababu Mungu wake amemkumbuka.
Anyway, I have an intro here. I'm just going to read it. Life doesn't always go according to plan. We all face challenges, failures, and moments that feel like the end of the road. But the real magic happens when you turn those setbacks into comebacks. Tonight we are talking about the resilience, bouncing back stronger, and how to rewrite your story even after life knocks you down.
Yo.
Hapo katikati karibu niseme amen. Hapo kwa mazee turning setbacks into comebacks. Ni feel mazee ni kama na inspire. Ni feel kama Pepe Minambo. Yeah, alisemanga inspire before you expire.
Hey, who is that brother?
I saw when we had Burale here, I think they were doing a mega show together.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know how that went. I hope people were inspired.
So we're talking about how your setback can be a comeback. There's a little subscript over there. What did it say?
Let me pull it up.
But generally, Bashir, we're talking about how to overcome crisis. And I'm very passionate about this particular topic because I have gone through enough crisis. So obviously, I'm not in a comparing competition over here, but I have gone through a few setbacks just like you have. And the first thing that I wanted us to describe, Bash, was what is a crisis. A crisis is a sudden, intense or unexpected situation that disrupts normal life.
Yeah.
So we are going like this in this direction. Alafu kitu ina happen suddenly. Unajua kuna siku nilikuwa naandika composition. Nilikuwa naandika like unajua hiyo kitu yenyewe unafanya kitu ndio upatie budako alafu aseme good boy. So I decided to write a composition
to your dad, ama?
No, I just wrote a random composition. Then I went to show him.
Yeah.
All right. So one of the errors, so ilikuwa na error mob, so he ended up getting upset because of that composition, and one of the words I'd written badly was suddenly. Nilikuwa
did it have one D?
Nilikuwa nimeandika vibaya, you guys. Check, what is this word? Why is a professor's son writing suddenly? So you guys, I regretted. You guys was in a crisis. But as Bash, thank you so much for that intro. You've talked about turning your setbacks into comebacks, finding strength in crisis. So a crisis is a disruption. As you're going in this direction, then suddenly kitu inakugonga and you find yourself going in an opposite direction. I had a crisis the other week, a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. Right? Well, I was with you actually. Just a backstory, we'd been invited with Bashir by one of the guys who've been here as our guest, Muafrika.
Shout out
to Muafrika, man. So I'm with Bashir. Before we went to shoot that podcast with Muafrika at his studios, I was telling Bashir, because I'd gotten a phone call from my brother. So my brother was telling me, hey, Bana, this sister of ours, I don't think things are looking up because she's being done for CPR. Then I was like, hey! So I was telling Bashir as we were going down the stairs, I'm like, hey, by the way, things are not looking good, man. I think, missy feel poor. Things are not looking good. And then threw it to the back of my mind. We walked to, actually, tuliendesha gari, tukaenda hapo kwa hiyo studio.
Okay, uliendesha?
Niliendesha.
Okay, mimi nilikuwa
I was just including you, ndio kwe inclusivity.
Staki watu wanze kunidai pesa zao za 2019.
So we get to that studio. We are sitting on the couch. This guy may prepare my camera zake. We are sitting there. And then I look at my phone and I see a message about my sister. You know, she's gone, bana. And I remember throwing my phone aside. I'm like, and I didn't even tell anyone. You saw me and you just knew. Enye venye jamaa sura yake inakaa sahi. Something has happened. And even the other guy was there in the studio, some brother called Ian Legend. Shout out. He was like, hey, kwani nini happen? So that is a crisis.
Yeah.
Like you're going in this direction, you're given news of something which you cannot control, and you just find yourself heading in a whole other direction. So that threw us in a different trajectory. It affected you. You guys, you started hosting with any human being who you can find. Check me aje, you come to host. Like, no, niko na show flani inaitwa Radio Generation. Unataka kukuja kuhost. You guys, you went through a mad crisis, but you did well, bro.
You guys ungekaa sana hivi mazeni. Ukapiga show na watchman hapa down, you guys. Tulikuwa tumeanza kuclick. Kulikuwa na chemistry, I won't lie.
No, you did well. And I'm not raining on your parade. And also the people you brought in were top tier individuals.
Yeah.
But that was a crisis. It affected our work. It affected our finances. And we did not plan for it. So just to open the floor, I feel like one of the things that has helped me in my life, all right, is nowadays I understand that it is not if the crisis will come, it is when. You guys, there is no hyping a crisis.
Yeah.
Hata kama wewe ni anaitwa jamaa Neo. Chio scene yenye Neo anapigwa na Agent Smith marisasi and then anazidak. You guys, even if you're Neo, maze, eventually the crisis has to come. Like, it's just a part of life. And it's so I wanted to say it's so good to understand that, but that's the wrong word.
Yeah.
But it is it's good for your mental planning to understand that life is seasonal. All right, there are seasons when things are good.
There's a time to, I think there's a Bible verse.
Yes, there's a time for everything under the sun.
There's a time to plant.
Yes.
And a time to uproot.
You guys were ushago ni wanoma sana. Those guys really understand seasons. Nazi kidogo unaona tu msema ameingia shamba amepalilia yake yote. Jua imewaka.
Yeah.
Cheki tuko karibu kuingia msimu wa kupanda. You guys know those guys believe in rain-fed agriculture. So msee anaenda kwa shamba na palilia. He looks like a madman. But it's not madness. It's just a very good understanding that after a couple of weeks, you guys, hiyo mawingu itakuwa itashikana, then it's gonna start raining.
Yeah.
So understanding that it's not if and it is when helps us to plan better. All right, and I think those are the things we are going to get into as we go along with the show today. But we have to understand, and I can't say this enough, that it is not if, it is when it comes. So when it comes, are you prepared mentally? Do you have the correct aptitude and attitude to go through the crisis? I think that is my first submission in regard to this particular topic. Na sasa wewe mwenye umekaa pale, nataka uvuke sakafu, ukuje hii upande mwingine, kwenye nasema kwamba it is not if the crisis will come, it is when the crisis will come.
Safi kabisa mwanzangu Emmanuel kwenye studio. Hapa ningependa kuchukua fursa sasa nivuke kwenye ukumbi ila basi ninengue matamshi yangu sasa. Mada ya leo. Mada ya leo ambayo tunaongea kuhusu panda shuka za maisha. Cha kwamba nakubaliana nawe ya kwamba maisha ilhali nzuri saa zingine pia mbaya, na hivyo ndio maisha iko. Unasema kuna misimu. Kuna misimu wa kupanda, kuna misimu wa kuvuna, misimu wa furaha, misimu wa majonzi. Ila basi ni maisha. Bundles zimeisha za Kiswahili.
I was really waiting. I was like, how long will this guy keep this up? You guys at last, but your crisis imeisha.
I do agree with you, Emmanuel, and I think I do agree with you in the point that you're saying. It's not if, it's when, but also there are certain things that you can never be prepared for. You know, like no matter how much preparation, no matter how much money you put aside, no matter how much mental, aptitude yani there are some things you can never be prepared in life. Unajua nile, the only thing that can prepare you is it actually happening to you. You know, like they say you always have a plan until you're punched in the face.
Yeah, true.
You know, because first of all, you won't be given a warning. Ati kesho, this and this is gonna happen. Ama nini. All of these things happen suddenly. Suddenly.
No, I like what you're saying, but yes, you can be prepared. But first of all, expecting, sort of having that expectation helps with your mental position. All right. I think Mike Tyson ndio alipiga hiyo quote yenye umepiga sahi.
I think aliekelewa ngumi jo.
Yeah. But if you think about his career, he was training like a beast. All right. So there are things you can do pre the crisis that will help you go through the crisis when it comes through. Yes, no matter what you do, obviously it will hit you hard.
Yeah.
But there are some things you can do before it comes that will give you, hope and the machinery to go through it.
Yeah.
For example, if you understand that we all are not gonna be on the earth forever, there's gonna be a crisis ukombele of us exiting. I feel like you're gonna live more intentionally. You're going to use your time wisely. It'll be sad that you're gone, but when you're here, you'll be like, hey, since my time is limited, I'm going to be doing these activities, and I'll linger doing this. And then I'll write down my goals and say, by the end of my life, I want to achieve this and this and this and this. And that is because you understand that uko mbele, there's a time, wacha that and losing your life, there's a time you're not going to be healthy enough to do some of the things that you want to do. You're going to be weak depending on how you live your life. You're going to be I remember when my dad at one point in his life, he was bedridden. Your time tulikuwa tunaishi Nax. So you guy, something happened to his back. Mazee akaekelewa kwa kitanda. The guy could not see mama from that bed. And you could see how frustrated he'd get because he used to yell at us. Jackie, why am I calling you people when you're just
lazima ameze mate juu amelala. Chekida tulia meza mate kwanza alafu utaendelea ku
so you could understand that is a crisis, but if you have that understanding of the thing that I've said initially, that it's not the if, it's the when. Okay, let's give practical examples. Like, have you ever gone through something that you describe as a crisis in your life?
Yeah, definitely.
What stands out?
For me, when I lost my dad, that's why I'm saying there are some things you can never be prepared for.
Tell us about that.
For me, I thought my dad is superhuman. At least that's how I saw him. He never showed weakness. My dad was a kale man. I never saw my dad ati sijui. He never showed any signs of weaknesses. At least
I
never saw it. He did a really good job of keeping that image. So at least for you saw your dad bedridden. Me, I never saw that with my dad. He was always up and providing and doing all these things. So in my mind, I'm like, this guy is still on is the peak of his powers. So for me to discover my dad dead, I'm not saying at bedridden, he's not there. I can't even describe that feeling.
That's crazy.
I don't feel it. There's no one who can even if I tell you,
you can't
even if I tell you second by second, moment by moment, everything that happened, you still can't fathom that feeling that this guy is not there, and he's not just your dad, your sole provider, the foundation for everything, he's like the pillar. Basically, it's like someone knocks down the pillar that is holding everything in your life together. Everything else crumbles without this person, and is no longer there. That realization is very foreign. That's what I'm telling you. Some things you just have to go through them. Nothing can prepare you. I mean, obviously financially, some things can ease in it, but nothing can really, you just have to go through them to understand.
You guys, Paul, son of that. I'm sure I know you've shared that story enough times, and it always hits me the same way.
Yeah.
So I remember one of the hardest times that I went through is when I was there's a point in my life was really good. In terms of
nilikuwa wapi? Mbona nimekupata times zenye life are not that good.
Pole. So you guys there was a time I was really enjoying life, to be honest, in terms of finances.
Eating life with a big spoon.
You guys, things were good. You guys, my fridge was full.
First of all,
parking
fridge
was multiple. You guys, magari kama nini, none of them Japanese.
Kuna ya kuendea mkate.
You guys, nilikuwa naziangalia kutoka Kejang, hapa Ngong Road hapa mbele. Cheki mimi nikicheki. Cheki, we, Obadiah, osha ile ya grey, na jana huku paka hiyo wax kwa dashboard wapaka wax kwa dashboard kwa ile red. So you guy, so now it figured a point. I remember the year 2012. There's a movie called 2012.
Oh, the one about the end of the world.
Yes. Okay. You guy, 2012 was 2012. And it's not just me, it's even my friend, my pal Kevin. Another friend of mine used to work at an airline. Another buddy of mine used to work in some company that does TV biashara. If I say the name, you'll know. You guy tulitandikwa hiyo mwaka. And that's what I'm saying. Life is seasonal. Sometimes things are up, sometimes things are down. And then sometimes it happens, this crisis come corporate, like a corporate crisis. You remember that time for El Nino?
Yeah.
Remember, how old are you during El Nino? I think you were much.
El Nino happens every year.
No, but there was the one where it created floods. There's one which killed a number of people in Asia.
Yeah, I do remember it.
And it created some sick floods. It affected many people. For us, 2012, many people in my age group were hit by some financial crisis at different times of the year. But for me, it hit me really, really hard. Okay, I had to downgrade, and it happened very fast. So nilikuwa na, you struggle to maintain your level.
Yeah.
All right, mfuko imechange, lakini attitude bado inafikiria utaenda
kiburi iko pale juu bado.
There's a place down the road inaitwa Brew Bistro. Tunaenda hapo kukula calamari. Check it, give me the usual with some calamari and some dip sauce.
And keep the change.
Some Thousand Island, okay? I'd like to dip the calamari in a Thousand Island. So you guys, I moved from my house down the road over here. I moved to Karen.
Yeah.
So the house was in Karen. Remember, I'm struggling to maintain my position. So I'm in Karen, but I could not afford to live there at that time. Okay. So it was in Karen, but it was like a tiny house in Karen. Because in Karen, you can't build a flat. So there's somebody who built a house which looks like a big manor. You know a manor? Like a big country house. Lakini hapo ndani amefinya ma-apartment. So tulikuwa wengi hapo ndani tumejazana mawanabi wenye wa afford Karen. But tunataka kuishi huko.
Fake it till you make it.
You guy, maze. So maze nikatoka pale ikashindikana. In fact niliacha hapo bill moja ya stima. Huyo landlord alikuwa anani threaten you guy. I'm going to call for you DCIU. You guys, I'm like, boy, nani, but I see we were friends. So I trickled down pole pole, found myself in Embakasi. Okay. It wasn't Pipeline, but it was behind what was the name of that area? But there's a school around there. Aviation. You really going into aviation?
No, I know I know that school. It's East African something.
Yes,
it certifies.
So right next to that school, there's a
that is in Embakasi
apartment over there. Sasa nikaingia hapo, but by that time I was down and out and battered kabisa, you guys. Because I was living a very high-end life. I was not used to living over there. Okay, and I remember there was another day. It was raining. It was raining heavily. I was being rained on, and then I was crossing the road up a Pipeline. I had a few of the cars that I used to have which had parked. So I was crossing the road, and it was muddy, and I slipped and I fell. Hapo karibu na hapo inaitwa Raunda hiyo place. So nikaanguka pa. So you guys nikasimama, nikaanza tu kutembea normally. But there's something that had crossed my mind that's you know the way they say a voice tells you? A voice told me, just accept where you are right now.
Stop fighting.
Cheki, jikubali, bro. The moment you start jikubaling is the time when you'll be able to think of a way to get yourself out of this hole that you feel like you're in. Okay. So I remember that moment very vividly, and I said to myself, hey, enyewe mimi ni mse wa Emba.
Mimi ni mse wa paipu.
Aviation. So I'm over there. So I remember that day I went back home and I felt a level of peace, because we're talking about overcoming crisis.
Yep.
Accepting. All right, where you are, accepting the situation, it is a start. Okay, because I remember that day very clearly. I went home. You guys made for myself, because remember I was wet nimenyeshewa. So I went and made for myself some drinking chocolate. Okay, nikakaa hapo kwa kiti. Then I started writing down the plans that I have going forward. All right, and just to maybe testify to somebody who was there, exactly 1 year after that day venye nimeanguka hapo Raunda, you guys, found myself in another very nice esto. It wasn't on Ngong Road. Ilikuwa pale Athi River, you guys. But very nice, very green.
Lush.
You guys was back, you guys.
Meadows.
You guys. Although zilikuwa mbali kiasi. But bado zilikuwa meadows. But I couldn't believe it. I'm like, yo, this is exactly a year after nimeanguka pale Pipeline. And I've never looked back since. But the reason I'm passionate about this topic of finding strength is in crisis is, in my own little way, I've been able to live through it and go through tough times. And I think that is a time when I understood that concept of it's not if, and it's not if, but it's when. All right, that's the time I understood that. And then that's the time I also understood that if with the right mental aptitude and attitude, you can actually get from you're on the ground up or rounder to, a better place.
I do understand, and it's so hard for you to get out of a hole if you don't believe that you're actually in a hole. Like you'll try to move straight, but you have to move up fast. So I think that's the realization you came with. And personally, I think I had this discussion with my mom, because when my dad died, like, it affected everyone, because my dad was like the sole provider. Like, he was like, even my sister who was married, like, he still sent her money. You know, like everyone was dependent on him.
Oh, he was the sole provider.
Yeah. So literally you could see it affected every single one of us differently though. But kila mtu, like everything, lifestyle ili change. Like for me, I just accepted that, you know, like my lifestyle obviously is equal the same.
How long did it take before it hit you?
Immediately.
All right.
Immediately, because even like before he died, like you could just like there were signs of him slowing down, like financially he was, I mean he was, I think he was sick, but alikuwa tu ameificha. So he was not doing as much as he used to. I remember even before he died we moved houses. So I was telling you, like I actually had a lot of resentment towards him, because I'm like, we used to live in this lush store. What are we doing in a sijui 2 bedrooms, sijui wapi here? Like what are you doing? And why are you sleeping every day?
Oh, but you come.
Me, I didn't know. I didn't know he was. Me, I thought he was. Like he was lazy or something. You know, like I was a kid. I do get it, and sometimes I look back. I'm like, you know, I wish I was more sympathetic. But I like it was very surreal for me, because it changed immediately. Because back then I was still in campus. Like I remember it was I remember it vividly, because I think I had gone out with my friend in LD. So I slept at his place, and then I came back, and then now the next day I found my dad. And then on Monday I got results for like the course I was doing here in Tuk. So it had taken 2 years. We had never gotten results for those 2 years. So I'm looking at this knee. I'm still grieving. I'm looking at this particular PDF. I won't even lie to you. I had like 17 supplementaries. So I'm supposed to come back off season, because supplementaries are done when other students are not there. I literally have like 3 days. Nirudi Nairobi, I come and do supplementaries. Like I was grieving through exams.
Yeah,
you know, like there was no time sijui ati nini. I'm in Nairobi. So to my kuzo, I had to move. I had to stay with my kuzo. I'm doing the supplementaries, go back home. Like there was no time. Unajua, like ile yenye unajua, like life has to move on. You know, and fast forward, like I was saying, I was speaking to my mom, and she was telling me, and I was telling her, I'm like for my dad to die, it was a bad thing, but it was a good thing also, because there are so many lessons that you learn, like through heartbreak and suffering, that success will never teach you.
You guys, it's interesting you mentioned that, because I think when you're looking for strength in crisis, one of the things that you also have to understand is many of the guys around you are not gonna be there. You guys,
yep.
You guys nikianguka pale nini rounda, most of my buddies maze had disappeared. I think the only guys who back it around was my pal Kevman. That's why you see me still vibing him.
Yeah.
And I had quite a number of guys who used to come to my house down the road to just chill, play PS. You know, my house always had juice, because I love juice.
Yeah.
So ukifungua fridge utapata majuice kama 5 hapo hivyo, different flavors. So they drink juice, tunakunywa PS. Those days I used to drink, so tunakunywa mayaga bomb. Unajua yaga bomb,
Yeah.
So you take yaga and mix it with Red Bull. So tuko hapo katikati ya sitting room tukipiga mayega. Cheki, aya 1 2 3. You guys, life was good, you guys. So one of the things you have to expect when you're going through crisis is some of the people around are going to disappear, and that is a very good time to audit your friends. Today we're hanging out with another guy who was telling us, actually his name is Mitch, shout out to him. He's a comedian. So Mitch was telling us the way he went through COVID, and after getting out of the ICU, he got some money and he left Nairobi. Akaenda sijui kuishi na nyuki kujitafuta. You get. You mentioned you remember that he didn't mention any friends.
No.
And that guy is a celeb.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has many hangers on around him. So when you're going through crisis, you have to also understand our dear wind down crisis, Pitiara, that Mazi, it's going to get really quiet. The friends are going to be few. Maybe it's just you, maybe one guy. I remember my friend Kevman came to my place in Embakasi, and he was like, "Hey, but you guys, this place is hot." Alafu kulikuwa na kawind. There was a kawind which was playing a paper bag. Unajua hizo machines za kama Breaking Bad. You get this a wind, a small car. Inaitwaje hiyo dust devil.
Kuna ngana yako kanapita.
Ka whirlwind, a small one lead beba in a paper bag.
Alafu kuna ile ka scrub kanika na ka plant flani hapo kanapitanga hapo.
Yeah man, and then you guys work finished dog inapita you guys. hata hizi bweka you guy imeisha you guy imezaa mara kaa vate you guy its breasts are hanging you guy. Someone say Kevali Stuka is like, yo man, you guys, this place is hot. But at least he was there, man.
Yeah.
Alikuja akakaa na mimi. You know, so he became one of the guys I know. Hey, hata nikipitia. He's not perfect, but at least. But majority of the genge wazee wali lost.
Yes.
And then Kevo is also a weirdo. Yeye ni mtu huwezi ambia siri yako. So alikuwa ananiambia venye mabesti wangu wengine wananidiscuss. Cheki, we bana, nani saying ati alikutana na Manu na amebit. So at the time I was getting hurt. I'm like, yani yote hujamaa alisema hivyo. But it's just a natural thing in life.
Yeah.
And it's a good opportunity to use that time, not to hate those people, but to just understand this guy is my ride or die friend. This guy is my good times friend. So maybe don't waste a lot of time na umse msalamie usimchukie, but understand if I'm going through a rough patch, these are the guys watasimama na mimi, and hao wengine wasiposimama you understand. So haitakuhata.
You guys, it's very weird that you bring up friends, because at that time when nilikuwa mafutani, because mimi nilikuwa nakaa hivi buda yangu ananitumia tu do since kijana yake ako Nairobi anasoma. So money was never
to affect sisi wote you guys,
never an issue. Unajua, like I always had money and I was in campus, I mean Nai, having fun. I was tea every day. Unajua, by the way hata sasa was sijui asubuhi, but nipeleke usiku.
You can navigate your way
hata bila with my eyes closed. So I had a couple of friends were happy to, unajua sherehe hapa na pale ni nini. So when the rain started beating me, I just realized that there was a shift. Unajua inafika pali penye you guy me I don't have money to go to ST. Like you can just see there's just a rift pole forming. Those are the smaller things. It comes to a point enye now you guy maze sije dish leo unaweza niwekea hata so mbili. So you see, like it comes to a point where you become almost like a burden. Unajua. And I'm not even blaming them. I'm sure I'd have done the same thing with the mind that I had back then. I'm sure I'd have done the same thing. But nile maze you guys tuache kutafuta bash maze amekuwa mzigo.
Ana juice kwa free.
Maze akikuja huku maze you guys hata changia mzingo. Atataka tu kukunywa you guys na asitoe do. So like my friends actually started distancing themselves from me. Like leo nakaa hivi maze uko pale Instagram, you're seeing your friends you guys having fun. And no one told you.
You guys, it's not
like they really chewed me, you guys.
It's a rough time, but that's the reason we're having this discussion. And remember, you can actually chime in on the discussion. It's not a monologue. We'd also like to hear what you think about the conversation using that hashtag, the wind down, over there on X. If you just go on Facebook, you'll see our poster there on Radio Generation Kenya, and you can comment under that post. All right, Bashir, there are different types of crisis in my book. Okay, you've shared yours, I've shared mine. Some of the ones I've gone through is the one I've mentioned about losing. During that time, 2013, I lost a house, and I'd put all my savings in that house, and I lost it. So ndio ikaniingiza kwa hiyo shimo. So the other things I've gone through, like losing a child. There was a time I was married. You know, we had gone to church. We are in Tao. I think I stopped to buy some stuff at some restaurant in Tao, and she just shivered her belly. And she was like, hey, what's happening? And you know, nilikuwa nisha accept, hey man, I'm gonna become a daddy. You guys said talking with authority maze hapo kwa compound.
Kaanza kutembea na power bank.
You guys pointing at the staff members.
Kingia kwa matatu unaingia hapo mbele.
Alafu napewa gazeti. Cheki wewe, kaa hapa mbele. Wewe hauna power bank, kaa huko nyuma.
Kaa huko nyuma. Kali hizo viti za hewa huko.
Wewe uko na mtoto, kaa nyuma. Watu wa mtoto ndio wanakaa mbele. Thank you.
Umetembea na familia yako yote kwa kiuno.
So that was also another crisis. We went to the gyna a couple of days later. Gyna akaniambia ati niende nikae hapo nje kidogo. Nikachagaa huyu jamaa anatakaje. Cheki unataka kubaki hapa na yeye peke yako undu? So kidogo he came with a weird face. Alikuwa ameweka expression weird. I was just like, hey, nye story poa. So he broke the news like, this child is not, you know, there's no heartbeat. I remember that story. Cheki, there's no heartbeat. Cheki, what? So that was a crisis. The hard part of going through that was now looking for a place, because see, there's a baby inside the mom, and you have to get it has to be flushed out, because the mom needs to be healthy, right? That whole process, I remember when it was done, not to get into details, when it was done, and they do some sort of sound, some x-ray sort of thing. I've forgotten what they call it. So you see inside the belly, and now there's nothing. Earlier there was an outline of a baby, that was a crisis. And I think it really affected us. Personally, those days I wasn't very wise in regard to things like therapy, talking to people about the stuff. So I remember I got deep into comedy. I got deep into podcasting, I think, at the time. I don't remember. But no, not podcasting, but I just got deep into my career. She started measuring like a fish. All right. And you could clearly see these guys are going through a rough time. I feel like if we were wiser, if you take me back, maybe if you take me back with the things that I know now, I think we'd have handled it better. But many of the things that I'm sharing right now over here, I didn't know. I didn't know those things.
I think it's actually easier to reflect and see the mistakes. Like you see how someone is history like like sometimes we talk out of retrospect. That's what I'm telling you. Like it's important. Like these failures and heartbreaks and they're as important as the wins and the good times, because I'm sure if it were to happen to you, like I don't wish it happens, but right now you know better, how you can handle it better. And
that is why if you hang out with some people who've gone through these things, you don't have to go through what they went through. You just hear their story and you adapt accordingly. So if you're going through the same thing, you can actually handle it better. All right. As you're saying, there's some things you'll never be prepared for, but some stories will help you. Like there's a friend of mine, when my dad passed on, he told me the pain will stay with you forever. Itakuwa tu hapo. So that helps me when I feel it. I'm like, that is what that guy told me, because he'd gone through it those days. Another crisis guys go through commonly in life is losing a marriage. It's a big crisis. You're with someone, mnakosana, anaenda na move on. Mazee anaenda na hook up na mse mwingine, na unaona unapata ripoti, you guy. That is rough. This friend of mine who said drinking yake yote, you guy. Na alikuwa anasema haijamu affect. Take kanene hizo yake hapa jeri affect. Cause they handle very professional. You guy, man, you need to go and look for a therapist, you guy. Unapitia. So the crisis, like I can't even list all of them. There's so many. Losing body parts. Sometimes unapewa kazi unaenda kufanya. Maybe you're at your office, you work in industrial area, kitu inakukata, you lose your hand. Like that is a crisis, losing a job, becoming sick. The last time I was with my sister, she told me, hey man, I just want to leave this place. That is a crisis. So one of the things that I feel we should do is, number one, I think you should build emotional resilience. Remember, these are just things we are sharing, not as professionals, not as counselors or anything. We're just two guys in a studio who happen to have a mic. And personally, I'm sharing a lot from my own life. Build emotional resilience, practice calm under pressure, do some journaling. Like I think journaling helps. Just write down the thing that you're going through. If you're if you're religious, you can pray. Like wake up in the morning, omba, talk to your God and tell him, hey, bana, mazina pitia. It helps. Meditation, like train your mind to shift from thinking about the problem all the time and just giving you solutions to the problem that you're going through. All right. Like last week, a couple of weeks ago, after we lost our sister, we had to put the grief aside momentarily and say, okay, ameenda, sasa tufanyaje? We need to come together. We need to bury her, give her a nice send-off. We also need to start thinking of the children, what's going to happen to them. So yes, we are going through the tough time, but maze, you need to get to that place when where you're in raunda, umeanguka chini, umepigwa na matope, na umejukubali ukasema, ndio shida, sasa tufanye nini?
Manu, I was telling you, and I think we share this experience, and up to now, whenever I'm in a matatu, and that particular ringtone rings, like I'm still still have PTSD from that ringtone.
Yo, that's crazy.
Because for me, I was not in LD. You know, like even before my dad died, like we lost our home, he was still alive. Like there was just a trickle, just vitu mingi, like a domino effect happening. And at that time I'm in Nai, so every time for like 2 or 3 years, I receive a call from my mom or from my family member. It was always bad news.
Yeah.
Always. So up to now, whenever I hear that ringtone, I don't remember, was it I can't name the brand of the phone, but ni ile tu ringtone inakujanga na simu. Like nikisikia tu hivi, like I just know. And I'm saying that to say that for almost, I think from like 2017, 2018 towards 2019, like I forget about having a bad day, forget about having a bad week, having bad years, and you still have to wake up every day and you know what, let's do this, let's go. You know, like sometimes I'm thinking, I'm like, why? Like why was I waking up every day and doing these things? I mean, now I can see it because I can see the light at the end. Like I'm literally at the light, but back then it was total darkness. You know, it was like, you know what, like okay, sijui ni siku gani, unajua, I can't even tell myself at, you know, it's not even a goal that is like, oh, I know by next year time kaa hii sijui ati kuna do yangu fulani itaingiana. It's not even ati there is hope attached to it. It's just blind faith.
Yeah.
And it's tied towards ile like what is the alternative? Like giving up is not an option. So let's
jumping off the Marvin. Shika aya meda.
You know, like what is the alternative really? So I feel like there's a way it
that
goes.
is a joke, people.
It's a good joke. Me
you know, you like dark humor.
You know, it's about resilience, you know, and I was actually Googling like what is the difference between resilience and perseverance, because we get it confused, and I'll just read it. You know, like resilience is about how you bounce back after a setback. You know, like think about like a rubber band, like, you know, like you know, it's elastic, but when you stop putting stress on it, like it will go back to its original size. So that is really resilience. Like no matter what happens to you, like you're gonna be okay. You know. And perseverance is about you keep pushing forward despite challenges, like despite no results, despite like you just wake up with no there's no, like you're not attached to the result, you're attached to the process.
Yeah, that's dope.
So I feel like if you have this too, if you're able to persevere, you'll be able to build resilience, and by that you'll be able to build a track record of doing these things.
Yeah.
So whenever these things, because these things reoccur, you know, even like it's not that if you pitia financially and you overcome it, that that is the last time.
Yeah, true.
Like people have lost and gained and lost and gained. Even when it comes to losing, like you'll lose more family members. You know, relationship wise, utagongewa tu. You know, it's not that it will. By the way, it will still happen. But you know, like I feel like the more you go through this, like you build some mental toughness. Like, come I was able to pitia this, and I'm okay, then ini.
Yeah, you're right, man. There's nothing even I can add on that, Mazi, because you've said it so well. I feel like one of the things we should do, especially on this side of the planet, and I think we are actually taking it up a lot. Chicks do this a lot. Many times we find ourselves when we're living on planet Earth going through financial crisis, where unajipata mazee hauna ene. There's a friend of mine anaitwa Hamo, the professor. Shout out to him. Anasemanga mfukoni sina jabo. Teki ushai kwa town alafu unagaria hiyo kuku ile, unajua hiyo kuku ambayo inazunguka, alafu hiyo harufu ya kuku inakupiga, unainusa, unataka kuikula lakini mfukoni haona jabo. Umzemenyana nichekeshange you guy. So this guy, after I've lost my train of thought. So I think you should prepare financially.
Yeah.
Have savings, emergency fund, even if it's kidogo. All right, put some money together. Yes, it may not solve all the problems that you'll face, but it might do something. Okay, so don't live from hand to mouth. Ekelea kakitu kando. All right, because baada dhiki faraja, lakini baada faraja dhiki.
It's a vicious cycle.
You guys, Joe. So you need to jipanga, all right? There's this. Maybe we should have that convo one of these days. There's this big debate about should you build a house or buy a car. All right. Should you buy land or buy a car? There's a huge debate about that.
I think we can have an entire. I think we should get.
We should get one of these financial
that guy is called Gustavo Manini.
Who's that?
You do a good impression of this guy.
Stan.
Yeah, Stan
Agacho or something like that. Yeah. The guy who likes talking about finances.
Cheki, one of the things that I normally tell people is I live in Kayole. I didn't buy a TV, and some people are in Kayole and they have 40-inch TVs. What are you doing? That is financial suicide. For me, what I tell people.
I think tutakata hiyo clip tumtumia. He'll have to come and reply.
Take it, where? Utaki nikuwe na TV? So, Cheki. So, back to my thought. I feel like you should. For me, I'm a believer in having assets like land. Okay, such that one of my neighbors used to live in somewhere in Embakasi. Okay, so he tells me he hit a crisis. I just met him outside my gate. So he said, telling me his life story. Nilikuwa napigwa na baridi, you guy, lakini ujamaa wanyamazi. Check, so one of the things that happened to me is I lost my job. Things became horrible, brother. Terrible. I had no rent ika-accumulate ikafika 160,000, lakini nilikuwa nimenunua a plot. So nikaambia mama, no, we have to move. Nikatafuta hiyo pesa, nikalipa huyo jamaa, nikachukua pickup, nikaingia kwa nyumba yangu, nikajenga tu nyumba ya mabati. So he has a mabati house, but he has a foundation of a house which is incomplete. But now anajishikilia kwa hiyo mabati. All right. So me, I think one of the ways of preparing for the future, and I know this is a debate for another day, is at least have some land somewhere, you guys. All right. So such that if you're thrown out of that lavish home of yours, you can go, you have a fall back plan. Lakini hiyo yenye sasa umetupwa nje na una sasa ni kurudi kwa barabara, kurudi pale nini hiyo raunda, alafu unaanguka tena kwa matope. I don't think so, you guys. I think you should tafuta shamba, bro.
You need to have a base of operations.
Look you cannot be driving. You know, I normally tell people you cannot be driving a top of the range vehicle and you don't even have a piece of land, even if it's in Kitengela.
Mbona Kitengela? So Kitengela imepokea mazema unpaid ads hapa kwa
he's actually talked about Kitengela on his YouTube. No, on his Instagram. You're saying alinunua plot fulani, pesa ikakwama huko Kitengela because he couldn't sell the land. But anyway, my point is that's a debate for another day. But personally, this is a personal point. I feel like you should have an asset, an emergency asset that can set you up or put you up when you're going through a rough time.
Me, my takeaway is embrace the heart. I feel like there's a lot to be learned with the downs and the heartbreaks and the knee. And I think the other thing you need to realize, and this goes both ways, either you're PTRing or you're going through it well, remember that it's just a season. So if life is good, remember it's only for a time.
We are Radio Generation. It's about that time for us to get to the top of the hour. We've been talking about crisis. I've summed it up to how to overcome crisis. That's the topic. We wrote a little bit about setback over there on the poster, but it's just the same thing, man. How have you overcome crisis in your life? What are the things that you feel like zimekupeleka mbio sana, and how did you handle it? You know, I'm very, very curious personally about this, this line of thought about this particular topic. I think I'm a student of how guys overcome the rough times that they had, because you'll never learn enough. You'll never ever learn enough. So don't touch that dial. We're gonna come back. We're gonna get into some music right here at the top of the hour, and then kama kawa kama dawa like clockwork. We'll be back. Don't touch that dial. Tunarudi.
It's 9 o'clock.